to do another class, a beginner's level class of the Bowspring method, and I'm happy for you to join me today. Please feel free to ask any questions throughout the class, and also ask any questions later on. I'll check the comments as much as possible. Hey Jeremy, thanks for joining. The only thing you'll need for today's class is a wall. So hopefully you can find a wall without anything in the way. Hey guys, welcome on. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm in need of some human contact today, even if it is virtual contact. So we're going to explore our bodies today on the wall. And I was thinking today about why we do this. Why do we move our bodies? Why do we do the Bowspring? Why do we do yoga? People do it for many different reasons. To stay in shape is one of them. To be flexible, which I don't like to use that term so much, because when people say I need to be flexible, a lot of times what they're thinking of is something that is unreal, something that is something that they saw on an Instagram post, and they think that they need to be like that. Most men come up to me and say, I can't touch my toes. Oh my gosh, I can't touch my toes. Lots of women say that too. And I'll say, well, can you do this? And they'll say, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, well, you can touch your toes. I mean, not everybody was meant to bend over straight-legged, and maybe we shouldn't. So instead of saying flexibility, I like to say mobility. So do you have the mobility that you want? And if not, these are some things you can do that will help you. Another thing that brings me to practice is mindfulness aspect of getting in my body. And I was thinking that's a big catchphrase in the yoga community is, are you getting in your body? Are you in your body? Well, I never really felt like I was out of my body. I don't really know what that feels like, but I know that after I practice, I feel better emotionally. So, so that's one of the reasons I do it. So today will be a combination of what we've learned in the past few weeks. Still a very beginner, and something that I hope that you will all join along in. So find a wall. And before we do anything, let's bring attention to our feet and just sort of walking back and forth, paying careful attention, being light in the heels, and having the strength in the paw of the foot. So imagine your foot, the paw of the foot, the mound in the toes is really what is connected and rooted to the earth. And you can take it side to side here. The heels are light here. I don't know if you can see my heels, but they're not even touching the floor. So remember, the Bowspring formula here is always in place. Hips are back, knees are forward at a slight bend, and the rib cage is full all the way around. And yet the rib cage is in front of the hips. So from the side, my rib cage is in front of the hips, not over. That's way back. That's ouchie back. You will feel tomorrow in your low back if you do that. So I'm walking side to side, and I'm thinking about lifting my foot from the top of the foot first. So that part that I'm slapping right there, that part leaves the earth first in my mind. And the part of my foot to touch first is the toes. So taking it side to side, getting really grounded. Big dragging the foot when I land. Getting connected to the earth. Let's take some seaweed sways. So press your seat hands out in front of you. Rotate the elbows up. And slide and glide. Hips go side to side. I hope you're all doing this. I don't want to be the only one doing this. Come on, guys. It feels good. Slide and glide. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Seaweed sway, seaweed sway, seaweed sway. Light in the heels, light in the heels. Strong posterior chain. All right, turn to the wall. So make it a beautiful wall. Make it a nice wall. Take all the shit off of the wall. So I have some stuff here. I had to get rid of it because I need this wall to play on. So start to love your wall. Thank you, wall, for being here, for being my support. All right, and my feet are about, I'm pretty good at judging distance. They're probably about 2.5 feet from the wall. It's gonna be different for everybody depending on your height. And that's really gonna change things. So if you got it wrong with the feet distance apart, you're gonna have a hard time. If you're having a real hard time while we're trying this, it might be because your feet are too far or too close to the wall. So play around with it. So for me, I'm 5'7", about 2.5 feet is pretty good for me. So I'm gonna get into my posture. My toes are down and they're gonna stay down the whole time. Toes down, hips back, belly long, rib cage in front of the hips. Rib cage is here, hips are back there. Reach 2 dome hands out forward in front of you a lot. Reach and stretch a lot. And take 2 dome hands to the wall. So remember, dome hand, you're pressing thumb mound and pinky mound together and making a dome. And the fingernails will touch the wall first. Every joint of the finger is bent, even the thumb joint, okay? No hyperextension of those joints. So something that happens here is people let their elbows point towards the ground. Instead, can you rotate the elbows outward and have a micro bend in your elbows? So we call that the elbow hollow. Stay full in your back heart. So remember, back heart is that place between the shoulder blades. Stay full there. Push back heart away from the wall. Arms are so long. Now soften your belly. Soften central channel from pelvic floor to the top of the head. Get light on the heels and find a little pulse here. So it doesn't look like we're doing much, but if you're doing it with me, you might be getting a little hot. It feels like something. Energetically press the knees away from each other to help mound the glutes. So we're recruiting the glute muscles here. And in time, you will have a toned and lifted posterior chain. All right, keep the back heart far from the wall and slide spring hands, slide dome hands to spring hands. So what I just did there was I'll demonstrate it up closer, without taking any fingers off the wall. I went from dome hand to spring hand. So spring hand still has a hollow in my palm, which I could suction cup on. I'm not dumping in the heel of the hand and letting there be air there. Spring hand is powerful, elbow rotated out. Spring hand can also lift up to dome. So notice this is not dome. I see that a lot in my classes. But teacher, this is dome hand, all right? Not really. You can do dome like this. All right, let's get back to the lesson. Here we go. So, hips back, knees forward, knees resist each other, body weight in the paw of the foot. So think of an animal, that's where you see the animal's footprint. You don't see their heel in the earth. All right, reach 2 dome hands far away from the back heart. Touch down fingernails first. Good. All right, dome hand slides to spring hand. All right, what usually happens here when your dome slides to spring is dome slides to spring and people collapse their rib cage forward. Look how forward my rib cage is now. Now try to press rib cage far away. The place between the shoulder blade pushes away from the wall. It gets really wide and broad there. And then let's lift up, dome. And try to keep your rib cage in the same place it is, but bring your hands to spring. Woo! I feel the fascia opening up in the arm there. Okay, so hands are in spring. Let's do some pulses. Hips back, knees forward. Knees resist. Find a bounce. And let's do some crescents here. So take the right hand to the side of the hand. So right hand domes on the side of the head. And hips go back, knees go forward, belly goes open. And we're going to crescent over the left. So if your neck hurts here, then a good thing to do would be, instead of taking the hand to the side of the head, take it to the back of the neck and hold it for support. And I want you guys to keep going. I'm going to turn to the back wall so you can see it from the back. So every movement in the bowspring is very particular. The transitions are measured and detailed. Dome slides to spring. Hips back, knees forward. One hand ecstasy and crescent. I know. All right, good. Reach that dome hand to the wall, dome slides to spring. Recalibrate, press back heart far away from wall. So you've got a good place to see my back heart here. It's pressed away from the wall. Not the case if it's sunken, like this. So really inflate back there. Own your whole space. Heels light. Back heart presses away from the wall. Left hand domes. Dome slides to ecstasy. And crescent. Crescent to the right. Right ear might start to tilt to the right shoulder. Find some stillness in the center. I'm going to turn around back to the side. Let's do some wall push-ups. So dome, so spring hand goes to dome, dome to spring. Do a couple times, try to keep your back away from the wall the whole time. And then let's do one at a time. So see if you can keep your arms straight and your back far away as you go dome to spring, one arm at a time. So the tendency here is to kick your elbow out to do it. Are you doing that? Or to dislocate your shoulder to do it. So did you do that? Or did you do that? Try expanding from the back heart to pull you into a dome. This will help you later on when we do these on the floor. Yes, we do these on the floor. All right, let's try swivel feet. So remember, swivel foot, the paw of the foot stays down. So the mound of the foot and the tips of the toes stay down. The heels light and off the floor, and you could get some movement here. So watch my toes, they stay down. Oh, that's kind of hard to do. Let's do one at a time. Swivel. The heel's kind of low here. You can look at your foot for a second. Some of the toes might not want to cooperate. That's okay. Know them and love them. And other side. Yeah, they're a little bit warmed up now. Okay, we're going to try a swivel foot on the wall. So I'll demonstrate first if you'd like to watch first. So I start off, recalibrate my position, dome hands, back heart full, hips back, rib cage full. Dome hands, slide to spring hands, keeping back heart full. I'm going to lift up the heels here, and I'm going to Swivel both heels to the left. My toes and knees go to the right. Notice my torso is still looking at the wall. I didn't get all bent out of shape over it. And I can pulse here. Both arms still straight, back heart still pulling, floating away from the wall. All right, lift the heels, swivel the heels back center. Take a couple pulses, recalibrate. And then heels lift, toes stay down. And swivel feet to the other side. So notice here, if one foot or the other tends to lift up and step away when you do the swivel foot. Notice if your toes tend to flare. So half of the battle, half of the journey is noticing what your habits are and noticing what happens when you try these little tiny things. Because we're not really doing big actions here, we're doing little tiny things. And noticing which ones are giving you a little hiccup. Hips back, knees forward, toes down, and swivel heels back, pulse. Did any of your toes come up? All right, we're gonna add the dome hand to that too. So we're gonna pulse a little bit here, fill in your back heart. So imagine your back heart is light, imagine your head full of helium, do a couple pulses, and then heels swivel to the left, toes and knees to the right. Pulse here. Now fill in your back heart, left ear tilts to left shoulder, both arms still straight, and right hand comes to dome. Find a pulse. See, we added both at the same time. So this is twisted cat on the wall. Come out of it in a very particular manner. Head tilts up, right hand, dome slide spring, and swivel feet back. Pulse. Twisted cat left. Tilt the right ear to right shoulder. Left hand domes. Find a pulse. 10 toes down. Heels lifted. Belly long. And swivel back. And that's good for today. Thank you for joining me with the wall practice. The cool thing about the wall practice is that you can do it anywhere. You can do it in your office. You can do it when you're waiting at the subway. You can do it at home. You can do it in the studio. And if you come to my class at Epic, we do the wall work all the time, and we'll get a little bit deeper than that on this too. So I'm not afraid or ashamed to do wall work anywhere I'm at, and you shouldn't be either because it feels good. And eventually these poses might not feel so comfortable right now, but they will get more and more comfortable the more you do it. And the more you do it, the more you're going to crave it and love it. I promise that. And if you don't believe me, send me a message and we'll talk. Thank you for joining me today. I love you all, and namaste.